How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Joe Biden's campaign strategist or handler, whatever you want to call her, Symone Sanders, running some crazy defense live on MS13 DNC with Cuck Tide. Now, this particular interview was ridiculous, and I have a lot to say about it. But first, let's go ahead and roll the clip. In this clip, you'll see Chuck Todd ask her a question about what Biden said about, if you ain't voting for me and you voting for Trump, you ain't black. You'll see her response after we get done with that. I'll talk about what was said. I'll give you my 2 cents, my deep, detailed analysis, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Symone, let me put the question to you this way. I know you have Joe Biden's record, and you have a long list of when he goes off the cuff, he seems to speak with sort of an older generation stereotype at times in some of this stuff. When you've been around him, what would be your explanation to someone who might ask you?
I'm not going to do this.
Why does this happen?
I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this, Chuck, I'm not going to do this because let me just be really clear. Vice President Biden absolutely has a respect level for all people around him, for voters across this country, young people, older voters, voters of color, Black people, Latino voters, Indigenous, Asian American, Pacific Islander. So I'm not going to even traffic in any hypothetical conversation about if he is sensitive enough. Look, there are real issues that we have to address in this country. And Vice President Biden has been speaking directly to the voters, even well before the coronavirus crisis, about those issues. He is going to meet people where they are. The fact that we can even talk about an interview on The Breakfast Club is because Vice President Biden went there to have that conversation. And if you watch the interview, they talk about the fact that they need to talk some more, that Charlemagne says he should come to New York. And so this isn't a question about whether Vice President Biden has the sensitivities. This is truly a question about, in this race, what we have is a question about leadership, about who is ready to lead and able to lead for all Americans, but who also has a plan for those folks, who can put their money where their mouth is, put their plans where their mouth is, and not just offer lip service to a community. And Vice President Biden's record speaks to that. He's not offering lip service. He's offering results. And that stands in a stark contrast into what we're seeing from this White House. Look, I know President Trump and his allies like to talk a lot about their criminal justice reform efforts. They have yet to allocate one penny from their budget to the First Step Act. Let's put our money where our mouth is. Let's not talk about platitudes. Let's talk about the plans that we have and how we turn those plans into actionable items. Joe Biden has led when it comes to a recovery for Americans, take it back to the Recovery Act, and he will do so in the Biden recovery. And that is a recovery that will specifically speak directly to the African-American community.
Symone Sanders with the Biden campaign. I may echo what Katie said. It's been a while, but it's good to see you, at least virtually.
All right, you saw that, you heard that. Now, Symone Sanders, that was crazy. I know you like to play the outside linebacker role, like what happened at that particular rally when the girl or the protesters with the S tried to come on stage. You hit that full arm tackle, looking like Ray Lewis, Reggie White, all that good stuff. That's your role, and I get it. But this right here was much greater, it was more of a reach, more of a feat of strength than that tackle was. Okay, you went way far above and beyond to protect this man. This is crazy. What he said to Charlemagne the God, talking about, if you want to vote for Trump and not me, then you ain't black. How can you really defend that? How is it really possible to defend that? And you know what? To her credit, she didn't really try to defend it. She was kind of getting irritated from the beginning. You saw that. She was like, look, we're not going to go down this road. We're not going to do this, Chuck, all this and that. She went to talk about his record, look at his track record, look at what he's done. But then when you look at his track record and see what he's done, you don't really find too many good things there. Okay, she's talking about hypothetical things that hasn't even happened yet. Oh, he's responded very well to the virus. How has he responded very well to the virus? He's not in government at all to even vote, let alone come up with a strategy to be able to defeat the virus, if that's even possible, which is not all you really can do is just wash your hands. And that's pretty much it. Stay at home for the rest of your life. Maybe you won't catch it that way. Although 84% of those that caught it in New York who were in the hospital were at home in a nursing home, but it's a different story. And I move on. My whole point is that it's nothing that he can actually do, and he didn't do anything anyway. She's talking about that to try and not speak about the racist thing he said while he was live on the Breakfast Club with the host, Charlamagne, the guy who is the softest dude in the world. This guy disrespect you to your face and you don't say anything really soft, but I'll move on. His track record is not a very good one, Miss Sanders. Let's talk about the previous racially charged and or racist comments. I remember a video a while back. He was in Danville, Virginia, talking about they gonna put y'all back in chains. Like, it was some black folks in the crowd. It's like, excuse me? Like, really? Is that what they're gonna do? Like, first of all, I never been in chains. You know, slavery, been over it for a long time. So how they gonna put me back in the thing I never been in to begin with? I'm not really sure, but I'll move on. Then it was the whole thing about Corn Pop. Corn Pop was a bad dude, and I know about roaches and all this and that. The kids were rubbing my blonde hairs on my leg, just really weird stuff. You know, that was more weird than racist, but the whole thing about roaches, so it was like, okay, I'm black. I got to know about roaches. I got to know the anatomy of a roach and be playing with like my pets and stuff like that in my house. Is that what I got to do? All right. Maybe that's not really my experience. You understand what I'm saying? And maybe roaches aren't necessarily a black or a white thing. But again, I'll move on. And then there was the whole thing of poor kids are just as bright as white kids. So do you use poor interchangeably with non-white? Is that what you do? It seems pretty strange how he has all these little miscues that seem to center around race. And then, of course, the biggest thing is the 1994 crime bill that he wrote alongside Slick Willie, Bill Clinton. Okay, Bill Clinton has since apologized for it publicly, but Joe Biden has not. When he was asked about it publicly, he's like, look, black folks wanted it. It was a thing to do at the time. Crime was out of control. Don't talk to me, talk to them. So basically, not even really trying to hear anybody complaining about it. Not even really caring about what his constituency, at least the black constituency, is even talking about. Doesn't even really care. Okay, and then he was in the White House for 8 years under Barack Obama and didn't reverse it. They did, when I say they, I mean the administration did some things to try to reverse it, but now you got Trump taking what they attempted to start and going all the way with it to reverse the things that Joe Biden put on the books that got a lot of black folks in the penitentiary on drug charges, and that's it. Not even guns or nothing like that, but mostly drugs. Crack versus powder, the disparity was like 100 to 1 or something crazy like that. You got guys in the joint for like 25 years off of selling crack versus they were to have the same kind of weight of drug and powder. It would have been a lot less time. You understand? So he has a really spotty track record. And then if you go all the way back to like what, the 70s and stuff like that, I don't want my kids, you know, being next to a black kid. They don't have to. I'm against integration, all this and that. So his track record, I don't really see a lot of positive things there. I just don't really see it. And don't get me started on the confirmation of Clarence Thomas. Oh my goodness, there's a whole documentary out about that. It's on PBS. Not about Joe Biden's role specifically, but he's featured in a documentary about Clarence Thomas. I suggest you go watch it and see what he did to Clarence Thomas. This guy, Joe Biden's not a good guy. Symone Sanders, I know, like I said, Reggie Wright, Ray Lewis, you out there doing full arm tackles. You can get caught up today to the Dallas Cowboys. You can get a starting job right there on the D-line. Okay, they might need the help. They ain't really doing all that well, but that's a different story. But this job he did right here was way over the top. It was really ridiculous, but I don't expect anything else from the Democratic Party. You see all the Democrats, well, not all, but most of the Democrats on Twitter, a lot of the blue check mafia going above and beyond trying to protect Joe Biden. Oh, come on. You know, it was a joke. All these op-eds written by white liberals, black liberals alike. I saw Jamel Hill, the lady that used to be on ESPN, and really she was there way too long. In my humble opinion, she was a contributing factor into ruining the culture of ESPN. She had this whole thing talking about, well, he wasn't wrong, all this and that. So you want to attack Trump every 5 seconds, for saying what? Good people on both sides, although he was telling the truth, because the whole incident was about the statue of Robert E. Lee and not about some Nazis trying to go and have a rally or cookout or a barbecue or something like that. Okay, you had regular normies from the college, people of the town, the townsfolk that were there, not just these subversive groups. You had subversive groups in Charlottesville, but that was not the extent of those who were there at the actual rally, nor was the rally about anything racist. But you want to attack Trump for saying something like that. But then when it comes to Biden talking about, if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black. Meaning I am a 77-year-old white male. I get to judge your blackness. That's okay. That's fine. If Trump were to say anything resembling that, you would be like, yo, put him in Gitmo, big rocks, little rocks, get him impeached right now. Matter of fact, that'd be the next impeachment inquiry. Oh, he can't be here anymore. He's not mentally sound. He's racist. He's harmful. We got to get him out of office. But when Joe Biden says it, oh, no, it's all good. It's fine. He was just joking. We know Joe, crazy Uncle Joe. This dude's a creep, stone cold stomp down moron, a pervert. He has dementia. He's not right. Racist, ineffective, been in Congress for what? 30-something years. What has he actually gotten accomplished outside of bringing misery to the black community in 1994 via the crime bill, via trying to block Clarence Thomas from the Supreme Court? I mean, you tell me, give me his accomplishments. I know what Trump has done. You're talking about the lowest black unemployment rate ever before the whole virus hit, and the whole world has suffered as a result. All right. Freeing black folks in the penitentiary that Barack Obama and Joe Biden could have, but refused. They didn't. They didn't go as far as Trump. You're talking about slashing regulations, slashing red tape, promoting world peace, bringing troops back home. What more do you want? The left don't have any other objective, in my humble opinion, than to push their narrative. Truth is not even the point. It's all about the narrative. If it does not fit the narrative, then they don't run with it. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about Symone Sanders' defensive strategy? Was better than the tackle that she did at the campaign rally against them protesters? Was it a terrible thing that she did? Whatever your viewpoints on that are, let me know in the comments below. You know where I stand. Symone Sanders, hey, she was Bernie Sanders last time. What happened? Okay, I don't know what's going on. Maybe Joe Biden offered her a bigger bag of money. You know, I was watching her in an interview. That was a nice little background. Where you at? Somewhere in Fairfax County, Annandale, or, you know, some cushy little place, Northern Virginia. Maybe you out there in Waldorf, Maryland, somewhere close to D.C., in a nice little suburban area. You got your money. You good, right? So you can sleep well at night knowing that you are defending this ridiculous man that you work for in Joe Biden. Hey, I'm not necessarily saying you're wrong, but I wouldn't do it. I couldn't do it. If you're a Democrat, that's what you're going to do, right? Hopefully she wakes up one day and then comes over here to our side of it. You know, that'd be great. But for now, she is where she is. And whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.